All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we are back and we're going to be looking here at number 79. Now, luckily, we don't have to write anything. We've had some pretty writing heavy problems these last few problems. But here on number 79, this is all visual. So first let's all together see if we can identify what that symbol is next to the Y. What is that symbol? It points to the left, so it's a less than or equal to symbol. Okay, so lefty, loosey, righty tighty, you've heard that phrase. Lefty, if it points left, it's less than. If it points right, it's greater than. Now, when we have something that's less than, do you think we're going to be shading below or above? Yeah, if it's less, it's below, right? Now, that line that means or equal to, does that mean that we're going to have a solid line or a dashed line? So we're looking for a solid line shaded below. Now look at the slope, 5/2. Is that a positive number, negative number? So as you move from left to right, the line goes up, it's solid, it's shaded below. And so now let's just look at our answer choices and see which visually, which ones can we eliminate? Can you eliminate anything? No. All right, so here's our next line of defense. Do you see that -5? That's the y-intercept. So we're looking for one of these that crosses the y-axis at -5, and that does help us narrow it down. Crossing the y-axis at -5, only B, okay? So the answer is B. Okay, now let's do the exact same thing for number 80. First, what is this symbol? Great. Is that shaded above or below? Shaded below, is it dashed or solid? Dashed. Now, I already saw them, they're all dashed, right? So where does it cross the y-axis? +1, and is the slope positive or negative? Okay, now I'm going to give you one more piece of information. When you see a slope of 2, that's going to be pretty steep. All right, so we're looking for a steeper slope, shaded below with a dashed line crossing the y-axis at 1. Which one do you think? Yeah, the only one that makes sense is C. Okay? Okay, now, all good things must come to an end. So not having to do any written work has come to an end. Okay? So on number 81, we're actually going to have to find some blank space on the paper and write this down. 3x minus 2y. And I'm not going to say the symbol, -8. Okay, now let's look up here at the board. Here are the rules. When we solve this, we're going to solve this for y, such that we have y, and then we're going to have some symbol here, and then mx plus or minus b, okay? So this is the slope-intercept form that we know from our linear equations, but this is linear inequalities, so it's the same kind of deal. The procedure will be to subtract 3x from both sides and divide by -2. I'm going to say it again. To get y by itself, we're going to subtract 3x from both sides and then divide by this coefficient of the y variable. In this case, it's -2. Now, here are the rules. If you ever multiply or divide by a negative number with an inequality, you have to flip the sign. So, question before we begin, are we going to have to flip that sign? Yes, good. So just, that's something to put in your mind so you remember to do it. Now let's do the math. Subtract 3x from both sides. We have -2y. I haven't said the symbol yet. And then -3x minus 8. It really doesn't matter what that symbol is because we're about to flip it. Now we're going to divide everything by -2. And by everything, I mean everything. So -2, -2, -2. So these cancel out. And now I have y. Whatever this sign is, I'm going to flip it. Now I have negative 3 over negative 2. That's going to be positive 3 over 2x. And now I have negative 8 over negative 2. That's going to be positive 4. So plus 4. Okay, now we can ask some questions. What is this symbol? Greater than. Is it going to be shaded above or below? Above. Is it going to be dashed or solid? Dashed. Where's it across the y-axis? 4. Is the slope negative or positive? Positive. So as you move from left to right, it's going up. And I can just tell you by looking at this, it's going to be more or less like a little bit more than a 45-degree angle. Okay, so relatively flat. It's positive as you move from left to right. It's going up. It's going to be shaded above, crossing at 4 with a dashed line. What do you think? You have to show them. B. Okay, good. Very good. Okay, and now number 82, 6x plus y less than negative 4. Before I even start the work, look at this equation or this inequality. Are we ever going to multiply or divide by a negative number? No. The only thing you have to look at is in front of the y. Since that's a positive, a plus sign right there, we're not going to multiply or divide by a negative. So that symbol, whatever it is, what is that symbol? It's a less than symbol. So we already know it's going to be a dashed line shaded below. We don't know where it's going to cross the y-axis yet, so we have to do a little bit of work. 6x plus y less than negative 4. This is number 82. 6x plus y less than negative 4. Okay. So here's the game plan. You ready? We're going to subtract 6x from both sides. That's the whole game plan. So y is less than, you always load this negative 6x up front, and then minus 4. So we're looking for a dashed line shaded below with a very negative slope, like nearly vertical, like this, okay? Only dashed. And it's crossing the y-axis at negative 4. It's shaded below, okay? Let's take a look at our answers and just double check. I don't doubt you for a second. C's crossing at positive 4. So A, yeah. Good. Okay, so now we're getting back into the fun stuff, algebra. So we're going to have to rewrite this because they put the answers right below the equation. So we have to rewrite it, 83. And so this is 3, open parentheses, 8b minus 6. Okay. It's a simple distributive property. Okay. I'm going to distribute the 3. 3 times 8b, what's that? 24b, good job. And now what is 3 times negative 6? So minus 18. There's your answer. Number 84. Seven, open parentheses, 6n minus 7. Okay. I mean, you're asking me if you can do it independently of me doing it? Is that what you're asking me? I mean, that's fine. Like, if you think, like, I would love it if you if you could work independently. You know, that's the goal. The goal is that you don't need me at all, right? So, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I heard you answering correctly earlier. Can you help me here? So, like, just because I don't know if everybody in the room is as comfortable with this as you are, I agree with you. These are relatively simple. So, what is 7 times 6n? Okay. And then 7 times -7? Yeah. So 42n minus 49. Okay. Okay, now these next problems, so I agree, those two problems, they're number 82 and 83. It was kind of like the eye of a hurricane, right? Where it got real calm for a second, it was real easy, and now boom, we got back to the hard problems. So 85, we're going to be multiplying two binomials. Now, I definitely think we need to work together on these. All of you are certainly capable to do these by yourself. I'll teach you what to do and see how much guided support you need. No, but I can't say your name, but to answer your question, um, yeah, absolutely would prefer if I didn't have to stand up here and work through all 100 problems. Yeah. Okay, so the way to find the answer to this, it requires you to multiply using FOIL. First, outer, inner, last. So what that will look like, I'll just tell you the game plan, and then if you want to try it on your own, you can. You're going to multiply 6x times 7x, 6x times -3, -6 times 7x, and -6 times -3. You're going to add all that together, combine any like terms, and you'll be done. I'll show 85 using FOIL, and 86 I'll show box. Because there's really two approaches here. You can use the FOIL method or the box method. It's the same thing. Okay. So I see a few pencils moving, but I see other people probably want me to help a little bit. So what this is going to look like is first we multiply these numbers. 6 times 7, 42. X times x, x squared. Okay. Now outer, 6x times -3, -18x. Inner, -6 times 7x, -42x. And then finally, -6 times -3, +18. Okay, now I want to tell you something. Every single time you do these middle terms can be combined. All right, even when we show it using the box method. So we just rewrite the 42x squared. And then we have to, these are both negatives. So when you combine them, they're going to get bigger in the negative sense. And I heard it, -60, right? Good. So it's 42x squared minus 60x plus 18. What you did, just so you know what you did, you went from the factored form of a quadratic to the standard form of a quadratic. Good. All right, that was number 85. So I said number 86, I'll show a different method of multiplying the binomials together. Number 86, we have open parentheses 6x plus 6, close parentheses, open parentheses 7x minus 1. And I'll show the box method. So this time, make a box, like a window. It's going to have 4 boxes inside of it. So first we're going to draw like a square. More visual type people might like this better. And when we have more than binomials, like let's say it's a trinomial multiplied by a polynomial with 5 terms in it, you definitely want to use some kind of box. Okay. But here we're just going to write 6x plus 6. See that spacing there is important. And then here 7x, down here minus 1. Okay. And so now we're going to fill in the boxes by multiplication. So 6x times 7x, 42x squared goes here. How about 6x times negative 1? 6x times negative 1, negative 6x. 7x times 6, 42x. And then this bottom right term, it should always just be a number. Negative 1 times positive 6. Negative 6. These terms, you can draw like a little tic-tac here. These terms can be combined, all right? So we have to actually take a minute and write this out. Start with the x squared term, so 42x squared. Now 42x plus negative 6 is kind of like 42 minus 6. What is that? 36x plus 36x there. Minus 6. Okay, we accomplished the same goal. We went from factored form to standard form of quadratic equation or expression.
This is almost the same thing, just figured.
What was it?
This is just like the FOIL method, just more visual.
It's just like FOIL, but it's more visual. Okay. After that, when we start to get into their number 87, you see this type of stuff requires the box, because trying to do some kind of mental gymnastics to remember first, outer, inner, last, it doesn't work anymore with the trinomial by a binomial. So we have to draw a box. So let me just draw the box. So what you're going to draw here is a box, and we're going to make the box 3 columns by 2 rows. Okay. So I'm just going to jump in with the box here. It's going to look like a rectangle. I'm making 2 rows here. Talking to me? I have a desire to do the problem right and try to model the best possible demonstration of how you should do mathematics to my students. Okay, with math, there's the right way, and then there's the sloppy way. Okay. I take a lot of pride in the work that I do, and so I want it to look good and be correct. Okay. So you see how I broke up the trinomial there? And then here I'm going to put P, and then I always like to put the sign with the number. So I know that that's a positive 5. And now we're just playing the same game. We're going to fill this out. 2p squared times p, 2p cubed. 2p squared times 5, 10p squared. Good. This class is getting it. Negative p times positive p, negative 1p squared. Right? And just, you're not required to write the 1, but it's going to help here in a minute. So you might want to just go ahead and write negative 1p squared. How about p times positive 6? Yeah, go ahead and put the symbol there, positive 6p. How about negative p times 5? Negative 5p. How about positive 6 times positive 5? Multiply.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Positive 30. Okay, now notice something. There's a little bit of structure here hidden that I want you to notice. These terms are common and these terms are common. So you can draw 2 tic tacs here. Like this. And you can combine these terms. So we're going to start with the largest exponent. So we're going to start by writing 2p cubed. And now we do 10p squared plus negative 1p squared, which gives us positive 9p squared. We always want to write in descending order of exponent. Okay, so now we have negative 5p plus 6p. That gives us positive 1p. But here in our final, we don't need to put the 1p. We're just going to put the plus p. And then the plus 30 just gets tacked on the end. Okay. It's nice, huh? This is cool. All right, one more, okay? Just one more. You can do it. Ready? 88. I'm going to help you set it up. But then I'm really sensing that this period, y'all are getting this. And I mean this with all seriousness, without patronizing the gentleman. When he's asking me, do we really need to wait for you to do it, or whatever he said, that's a good sign, right? Teachers love to hear, I don't need your help. I mean, really. Okay, so let me just help you set it up, and then I'm going to give you some autonomy to work on this. The real important thing is that you just take your time, try not to rush, and write really neat. Just be super delicate about how you do it, and you won't mess up. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the screen here for a second so you can work, and don't look up at the board, and I'm going to do it, and then you guys, we'll see if you guys get what I get. Raise your hand if you're done. All right. Did you get what I got? Good job. Hey, this is tough stuff. All right. You should be proud of yourselves. It's good stuff. Okay, let me close our recording. We're going to stop here on number 88. Let's just take an inventory of what we did. We started on number 79 and we went all the way through number 88. Okay, so we're just 12 away from being done. You see there that I saved a little for 8th period. When you see 89 and 90, what you're going to end up with is a 3x3 grid. It's big, right? It's going to be a lot of mechanics there. But we're going to stop recording on 88 for this period in 3,